guys, happy Friday. So glad you're here. We're going to do a simple little technique today, putting mica powders on pearl type stuff, or could be other organic stuff too. The same principle would apply if, say, you want to put it on bone. That would work too. Or even some plastic caps and stuff like that, type stuff. It works on. I've done videos on this before. They go back. If you want to go find them, I'll see if we can find them. We'll find them for you too, and we'll put them in the notes. But I don't know, what, 5 years ago or something like that. You remember how we made those in the basement? I did it, and I also did tissue decoupage on. So I did it before, but I just kind of thought, since I was working with organic materials again, maybe we do a little refresher, okay? So that's what's going to be about today. Then real quick, I wanted to tell you, we appreciate you coming. If you wouldn't mind, please leave us a comment and a like. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us a lot. Not to make more money off YouTube, because that's not even a consideration anymore. Is to get people to watch, because the more people will comment on something, YouTube will show the video more. The comments are powerful. Your voice is powerful on here, and we need it. So if you wouldn't mind leaving me a comment, that would be so wonderful. I would appreciate it very much if you would take the time to do that. Also, the class is starting. Uptown Boho 2 is starting today. In fact, it started today. By the time you see this, it's already started for the day. The thing is, don't sweat it, because you can still join us, because everything's recorded. So you could pick it up at any time. It's just that I don't know if down the road I'll have kits. I still have kits. And they're pretty bodacious, too, for the amount of money you pay for the kit in the class. Oh, geez, are you getting the stuff? And I just want to show you one little thing that I made as a sample project. Can we get this in, Javi? Up like this? Okay. This is a little tiny vintage perfume bottle that I did mixed media assemblage on using parts from bsuboutiques.com. So I made the back a little bit simpler. I think I like the back better, honestly. Put in the notes. Tell me which one you like, the back or the front better. And then I did like a waterfall of rhinestone down the sides and a little bit of pearl on the top. And I put the tissue on here too. And I used matte sealant, and it made it look like it's frosted. It's really cool. So this is a really sweet, tiny treasure. I'd like to have, like, for myself, a set of 3 to put somewhere pretty, maybe in my bathroom or something. But you can do a bigger one too. I have a big wine bottle that's really awesome. I've never seen a wine bottle like this. And I'm going to do that part way in the class too, so you can see what it's like to do a bigger one. And honestly, I think it'll be easier to work larger than this little tiny thing. We'll see. Anyway, we have that. We're going to do altered headbands, altered journals, like junk journals. We're going to do altered books. We're going to do a lace cuff on a stretch cuff. What else we have? We're going to do substrate, like wall art. And we're doing all kinds of stuff different than we've ever done, stuff that's not jewelry. So check out Uptown Boho 2, and you can see where to sign up for it. Probably we'll put a link in the notes, and you can sign up for it at my website, okay? So, and it's never too late. Never, never. For my class, it's never, never too late. It seems you're never late for this, because you can tune in anytime, whenever it's good for you. Okay, guys, so let's get off of that and start putting color on seashells. So, come on over here, and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, guys, so we're going to put some color on these here shells and make them look a little different. Now, you probably remember when we did this a few weeks ago, and we made the great big necklace and everything, which is mine now. I decided I'm keeping it. Well, so I'm making another one, but this one's going to have pink on it. And the reason is because I'm going to put mica powders, and it's super easy. Now, these are glued down already, so I wanted to be able to show you what it's like to do it if you're already glued down or if they're not, and then maybe discover maybe pros and cons, what's better, what isn't. Now, what I did find out about having them glued down first, and you can see there's some glue mess that didn't get cleaned up yet. Guess what? It doesn't need to be, because if it's not showing on the back, we don't care. I have a little bit showing on the back that I'll have to clean up, but if it's not showing on the back, we don't care. It can be all kinds of glue mess. We don't care. Anyways, did I say that? We don't care. Okay. So anyways, and I have wiped a lot of it off, because the thing with Perfect Pearls is sometimes it gets feeling a little bit gritty. So before I put anything else onto this, after I get it all glued on and the Perfect Pearl sets and all that, I'm probably going to seal it. And then I'll put my stuff on it. Okay? So anyway, let's get after it. So let's see. I'm going to get these spaced out so they're in the right place, because you know they have to graduate. So I think that would probably be the next one. Just want to keep them down a little bit along the edge a little bit, because the last one I made, it came up high and I felt like it was not quite balanced. I think I told you guys that. It was fine, you could wear it, you know, nobody really noticed it unless they're real particular like I am. But, you know, just try to keep your points down a little bit better. So I think that's better than the other one was. I think I'm looking around there. Yeah, it looks nice and even. Anyway, these aren't going to be on, but I just want to get them in order. So it's very simple with Perfect Pearls if you've used it before. If you remember our other videos, basically we put embossing ink on it. Now, this is the kind I have at the site, and it's really good. Okay, it's just an ink pad, and you can use the ink pad, just push it on there. But I have a favorite, and I don't have the site anymore because my suppliers aren't carrying it, and I don't know why. I'm mad. But anyway, I use it. I still got a little bit left. So it's on a dauber. So I'm just going to, it really gets a lot more product in, and it gets into the cracks, because with this natural material, you know, you have a lot more grooves and cracks and stuff, and you want it to, you don't want it to like, you know, back up in the grooves and cracks, but you want to get enough gnaw on it. And with the stamp pad, it works good. You can make it work. But this is better. So I'm still on the search to find stupendous daubers. So anyhow, okay. So now what I do is I usually put, you probably remember, put a little bit in the cap to work with, because you don't want to be dipping your brush right into that. Okay, so now where are my brushes?
And which color was that, Mica?
It's called Poppy, I think.
Oh, Poppy. I like that one.
I don't know if we have it right now or not, but I'm going to check. This was in my own stuff. And then I have these nice little brushes here. You get a set of 12. I can get them from my supplier, and they're made for putting Perfect Pearls on. But if you're interested, let me know. I thought they would be a little bit too expensive, because they'd be like $25 for a set of 12. And, you know, really, you know, like $2 a piece is not terrible. How much would that be? Something like that. That's not a terrible price, but it's more than I'd like to pay. Okay, so you can see how I'm just putting it on over the embossing ink. And some have asked me in the past, well, do you have to have embossing ink? You know, won't it just grab a little bit on its own? And on some surfaces that have a lot of what they call tooth, it will. But it won't stay on. So you're going to have to seal it really good. But this stuff just doesn't want to do what you want it to do. And one thing you can see, it's kind of like got little greeblies all over it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that is because I put a lot of Stampendous on. So maybe I am better with the Emboss It ink pad. So we'll find out on the next one. But this is pretty good. And I don't think I want to get too much underneath that, because I don't want it to interfere with glue. But let's see, did I get enough? Yeah, I'll show you what it's going to look like then. See? So I'll actually probably let that settle a bit and wipe a little bit of it off. Now, another thing you could do if you wanted to is skip the mica powders and get yourself a good medium body acrylic paint. Paint the piece and then wipe it off. And it'll be like antiqued. Now, you usually use a black or a brown to do antiquing, but I think maybe I would want to antique it in a pretty color. And that might be pretty too. Try it. I don't have an example here for you. We're not doing it today, but it's a thought, So I'll put the next one. And this time I'm going to use the pad. So what I do is just take it and just try to get everything coated real good. Try to get this just not as juicy, but maybe that's a good thing, So we'll see. Yeah, it's a little bit better for not pilling up. So maybe you're better this way. Maybe not having the dauber is a good thing. Not interesting. Yeah, I'm liking it better.
Yeah, me too. This is what made it kind of too much.
Yeah. Well, see, now we did a little experiment. And we found out we're better off with a stamp pad. And I have stamp pads at the site if you need to. You have to get clear embossing ink. Clear. No colors. Okay, so there's see, if you look between the two, this one's better. I don't know if I can, since it's set for a while, if I can get some off. You can definitely get that. You can wipe it off, but wet. I might have to work a little bit at it, but I'll get it off a little bit. It's not bad like that, but I think this looks better. Yeah. So use a stamp pad. By all means, use the stamp pad. So I've got one more. And once again, I'll be sure that I get all the cracks that I possibly can. Oops. I'm clumsy, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so one more. See, once again, it's going on really nice. Also, what might help would be maybe a clean brush that has not been dipped into the stuff when you use the dauber, because it appears that maybe the dauber is just too much stuff. And this is less is more, evidently, which that's new to me too, because I just thought the dauber was the best thing, but I'm finding now it's not. No. One other thing I found out too is you think maybe you can substitute Mod Podge or something for embossing. Don't do it. Don't go there.
You can do it!
It doesn't work. There's probably something out there that could work, instead, but I don't really know what it is right now. Clear embossing ink is the deal. And it's not hard to find. If we're out, it's everywhere else. You want to get it from me, tell me. I can get it in here pretty quick. Okay. Yeah, I like that much better. Much, much better. So you just have to be sure that when you glue them on, you get them in the right line. Okay? So that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just doing that. Now, I tried earlier today to do it, on one of these 40 by 30 pearls, this way. These just came in, they're vintage, Japanese, I think. Oriental anyway, not China. Anyway, and they have a real pretty cream color to them. And Diane's putting them on today, or she did it the other day. And I think she has them 6 in a bag for like $7.95, which is really, really good for 6 40 by 30 cabs, because that's big, okay? But I'm going to move this over here and see what happens. Sometimes you have success with applying color like this to something on it. To plastic, sometimes I've had great success doing it, and other times no. So let's just see what happens if I use a stamp pad, okay? So we want to try and get it as covered as much as we can. And you'll know it's covered because it'll get a slightly greasy feel to it. So you don't want to put your fingers on it then because you'll be removing it. Okay, now let's see what happens, okay? Will it work or will it not? See, it wants to pill, but it is working. This probably, if you want to get it a good pink, you might have to apply it several times. That's what I'm thinking. And then get those little pills off of it, because that doesn't look good. You know, when you have irregular surfaces, it doesn't matter that much. People don't see them. But on a surface like that, they will. And some people would feel like maybe it's a defect and not buy the piece. Although I think, you know, with mixed media jewelry and altered art and stuff like that, people tend to think less of that because they know they're going to be imperfections, part of the style, you know. So yeah, you could get it to work. I would just have to go over that a number of times and then get all my little piddles off of it. But it doesn't like give it like a big color boost. It's just very subtle. I'm going to show you. See, this is what it was. There's definitely a change. Do I have it really show up? Okay, so there's definitely a change. So with Perfect Pearls, you can change the color of things up so easy. I want to get you the links to those older videos because there's nothing wrong with the information. It's totally current and it might help you, you know, between this video and that one. You might learn a lot, you know, really figure out a few things and then go have a few of your own happy accidents, you know. This one, I'll just show you this real quick. This one, I did these two one time. I did a video on it, but it's, so you have to have embossing powder. It's not going to hold. This is tissue decoupage over top of one of these. So you can see it's just kind of all smashed down on the back, and that's okay. Doesn't matter. No one's going to see that. But then I could use this like for a cameo or something. Now the way it looks, it's really gotten very matte. And I'm not as crazy about it. There are some little wrinkles in it too, but they're not pronounced, and that doesn't bother me so much.
But I kind of like the wrinkles.
It gives you texture.
Yeah.
But I think I would maybe take something that maybe a satin finish sealant over that. Maybe not a glossy, but a satin finish sealant would look pretty good over that. And you can do this on pearl beads also, and you can do. Oh, there's an ant. It's ant time. I hate that. Like, these are vintage. I got a whole stack of them here. These are vintage. Like, you could go over that, too, you know, in a mount and go, I don't know, probably fit a mount, you know, like that.
Yeah, it might fit mountain.
You know, so there's a number of things you could do. You can do image transfer to it, which is another technique altogether. So, but you've got a lot of ways to go with this. So, you know, there might be something you want to do. So we'll be getting pearl cabochons back on the site. We'll be getting the big ones. They're on already. You can go find them and buy them. The smaller ones, I did have some. I still do here while I'm making this video, but I'm not going to have enough to offer. So I reordered them, and they're on their way. So if they get here in time, Diane will get them on, you know, for the weekend, and you can come over and get some. They are not expensive. I'm really fortunate. I'm able to get a lot of this old Cultura pearl stuff, MOD, which is monocrylic, for really reasonable, and sell it really reasonable. So we have the benefit of these things. So I would just say, like, with the pearl beads and cabs and stuff like that, the day's going to come, they're going to run out, because it happens. So I would just say that if you're able to stash some of it, it's not a bad idea. Okay? I would try to do that. I'm doing that for myself because I don't ever want to be without them. Okay, so I hope you were able to hear me good enough because I feel myself trailing off. But anyway, so I hope that gives you some new ideas to have fun with your shells. We did get the turbo shells back in. I think they've gone back out again already, so I have another order coming in. I wanted to show you this too. This is one with perfect pearls and a piece of tissue decoupage on it. Now I think this would be kind of cool if you got, they have these shells that you can just sit around and look at. If you got a big shell, I did something like that on it. That would be kind of cool. Maybe not for jewelry, but anyway, I wanted to try it. It works, yay. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you get to try this. Again, it's a simple technique and it is inexpensive to do. So if you need perfect pearls, come on over. We got some that restock. We have a lot of it now. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye now.